that was my attempt at some B-roll type footage with some epic music. I'm not sure how that turned out yet, but an effort to make these slightly better videos. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, basically this is my K20 Turbo EK Civic build, and today we're going to be going over some of the work that's just been completed on it. And it's taken a lot longer than expected. It's been to take a week or so, but it's been 4.5, 5 weeks, something like that. But there's a few bits changed, and we're ready to rip into it. So we'll get stuck into what's been done, why it's been done, and go from there. So basically, in a nutshell, had the tube frame all done through the front here, which we'll get to probably last. That's the sort of the biggest change that's going on. Have a wee look at the seat here. So finally my Racetech seat is all mounted up. I have the issue that I'm 6'3", and I have a real issue with clearance on the roll cage when I've got a helmet on. So this has been mounted basically almost to the floor. The mounts are welded obviously through each side and welded right down at floor level essentially. So that gives me a ton of room. Well, not a ton of room, but enough room, shall we say, for my head. And also, given, well, Civics are fairly small, this is quite a tall seat and a wide seat. It had to mount hard over to the tunnel here to get clearance for the door and that, which he's done a fantastic job of. So I'm actually really pleased how that's come out. Mounts and all, that's solid. So second thing that was done on the interior here is this bar was added in. This seat here mounts from the rear as well. I haven't got the mounts just yet, but again, safety is a big key thing. So having the rear of the seat mount to the cage is another safety box ticked off. And also this is the correct height to have the harnesses on the correct angle for the hands device. So ticked a few boxes there, which I'm pretty happy about. Safety boxes, that is. That gives you a bit of an idea there. That's how the mounts were for the seat, and I don't know if you can really see, but now they're sitting, geez, about 2 inches lower, which is awesome. Now, one of the other things I got quite excited about at one point was running an electric column for the steering, and like an inline electric motor. Turns out that's a heck of a lot of work, so ended up canning that idea. I'm just going to go for an electric pump. So I've had the basically the lines just modified and spliced into just here. This one extended, changed up here. So we've got these two basically sitting and waiting for an electric pump. Probably use what seems to be quite popular as the Holden Astra pumps, or the Holden Vectra. I think got a chap I know running one of those, and it's EG, and unsure how big it is yet, but I'm hoping to fit it down in this gap here, and that just eliminates all the horrible belt-driven pump that was sort of in the way up here, because I need all the room I can get. So that should be well, I've committed to it, so that's going to happen one way or another. So the new tube front end, which was kind of the kind of making the dream come together, I guess. So Simon's done a pretty good job of all of this. It's not only functional, but it's pretty, he's done a freaking nice job. As you can see, all through there, all triangulated. So essentially, it's only mounted in 4 points. So we're mounted to the chassis rails through here on both sides, and then there's two 6mm bolts, one here and one here. which can slide in and out. And the cool thing about this is with all these coolers, 4 coolers right on, undoing those 4 bolts, and this whole thing simply just pulls straight out. So engine and box in and out can just go straight in through the middle there, and that simply just pops back on, which makes well, the removability side of it pretty easy. So basically we've got the radiator mounted top and bottom of these little tags here, some down the bottom there. The intercooler is mounted with these custom mounts as well, top and bottom, matching the angle of the radiator. Much the same for the oil coolers on the sides there. So I guess the question is, why have I mounted them on an angle? I think I've been over this sort of in my last one, but now it's actually here and done and ready to roll. This is done for clearances for the engine to get a bit more room as one, mostly though for ducting purposes. So the front on this is actually extended out about, I was about 70 or 80 mil from stock. And basically now when the front bumper's on, I'm going to be able to run ducting to the intercooler. I'll seal the intercooler to the radiator, and then I do have to wait until the engine's back in, but from here we're going to run an exit duct out and up through the bonnet there. So that's the reasons for the mounting on the angle there. It's going to be infinitely more room in the engine bay as well, which is going to be quite cool. So the reasons, obviously the ducting, if you are new to it, it provides efficiency. I can basically run ducting on the front here about 1/3 of the size of the overall surface area of the intercooler. So the opening doesn't need to be as big, which of course reduces drag, but actually increases cooling efficiency as well as aerodynamic efficiency. Proved this on my last EG to no end. It was the gains were absolutely incredible, both in cooling and aerodynamics. So I look forward to making all of that up there, and of course exiting out through the bonnet into ideally a low pressure zone. We can't really be picky, unfortunately, with where we exit due to constraints of, well, everything in the engine bay. But that's essentially, in a nutshell, what's going to be going on there. And yeah, like I said, I've got to wait till I get the engine back in, but I should be able to get an exit duct up and out of there. It's just the intake which sits a bit further forward. So moving on from the radiator intercooler. Again, as I talked in a previous video, basically this here is the engine cooler, that one is the transmission cooler, and they were mounted, they'll have a look at my other videos, they were mounted completely differently, but long and short of it was the engine cooler was mounted over here, and it had lines that went right around the entire engine bay to over here, and the transmission cooler was mounted actually up in the headlight here, and the lines went right around the back of the engine bay to here. So they were mounted the wrong way. So now they're correctly mounted, shall we say. Right, engine cooler here, the lines will just be able to shoot straight back. You can see the filter there, and the lines are just basically where that is, so they'll just come straight down there. The transmission oil cooler, very, very similar. Lines will just go obviously up there. However, I do have a pump, obviously a tilt-in pump here, which needs to mount, so that will probably end up back in here somewhere, perhaps here, just a bit unsure at the moment. I need to have a bit of a sort out with everything, but one way or another the lines are going to be a lot shorter. It's going to just make more sense. Other reason they're mounted here is obviously lack of complete room in the engine bay. Get them out the front, get them in the free air. As well as that, now I can actually duct these, which is going to be quite cool, because I'll be, again, like the intercooler, I'll be able to run a smaller opening, duct these, and I will be able to exit duct these as well, which is why they're mounted where they are, so I'll be able to sneak a duct basically right past this chassis rail here, and just it will exit to the wheel well or to the tyre, which is not ideal, but it's not going to be a huge amount of air coming through there. It's not going to be too detrimental really to the overall effect, especially when we've got cut guards and a pretty epic exit area back here to get air out of the wheel well. That won't be a massive issue at all. Plus that is what it is. Very similar on the transmission oil cooler, same thing. Duct into the front and duct out to the back in here, and that's just going to be really nice. So I guess that's the tube front in a nutshell. Really pleased with how it's come out. So now that that's all done, where to from here? Right, my next biggest thing I want to do was strip and paint all the engine bay. Right now that prospect's not looking so good, because I'm keen to get the engine back in and actually get it running again. So what I might do is just have a bit of a tidy up, bit of a touch up, get rid of some of this flaky crap and just touch things up again, rather than paint the whole thing. I'll have a bit of an assessment. But other than that, though, while this has all been getting done, the engine's obviously it's been stripped down. I'll put a picture up here of the vapor blasting. I had a lot of the parts all vapor blasted, as you can see. This is the before picture with it pretty grimy, pretty greasy. It was an easy thing to do and have done, and this is the after of the block specifically, and it's come up like brand new. So again, easy thing to have done while it's out. It's pretty cost effective, and makes it look absolutely mint, and you kind of know what you're dealing with. So that's all done. We're just waiting for a head gasket to arrive from the USA, from Summit Racing, which is currently on the way, and then the engine will be going back together. That'll be that. Hopefully that build happens as soon as that head gasket arrives. We can start getting that back together and then can get it back in the hole. And then once that's all done, obviously I need to build a front bumper for it. I need to build wide body front guards, as I went over in my last video. If you are new, go and watch it. But the new wheels, 18 by 10.5 are out here, so I need a wide body, which I'm going to build. Getting that built. To get it out on the track, I'm keen to do the minimal that I need to do, and then I can go into it deeper once I've got it all running and running well. But bit of inspiration is the Garage Rise Up Civic from Japan. As anyone knows, I'm huge into Time Attack, and it is a complete beast. Love the shape of the front, love the wide body. So I'm not copying it, but it's certainly a source of inspiration to get things going. But yeah, that was it in a nutshell. Cheers for watching if you got this far. So if you do like it, I'll try and keep the videos up anyway, and get a bit of progress. We'll see if we can get the car on the road by the end of the year. And yeah, we'll keep pushing forward now I've got it back. Cheers.